game, but the breaking news that has transpired in Jaguar land within the last 10 minutes or so. Adam Schefter of ESPN reporting that Tank Bigsby has been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. In exchange, the Jaguars get a 5th-round pick in 2026 and a 6th-round pick in 2026. So we got a lot to get into when it comes to that. I certainly want to recap the game. I got a lot of thoughts. How good does it feel to be 1-0 in the city of Jacksonville? But boy, 1-0, and now you trade Tank Bigsby, which I didn't see coming. I'll be honest with you. It kind of caught me off guard about 2.5 minutes ago when that report came out. So I'm kind of digesting this news as you are hearing it. But we will talk a lot about the Jacksonville Jaguars tonight, as you would imagine. And yes, we will talk about the absolute disaster in Gainesville, Florida, with the Florida Gators losing to USF. I got former Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop, who's going to join us later on in the program, basically to give his thoughts from an alumni point of view, a former All-American point of view, about Billy Napier. Because I got to tell you, I think anybody that was defending Billy up until Saturday night, that was kind of the water over the dam. That was a bad, bad situation in the loss to South Florida. We will get there. But the big news of the night, the big deal of the night, is the trading of Tank Bigsby and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that big deal of the night right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No, because
it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
All right, so 5 minutes ago, I had planned my opening monologue, was going to break down the game, the big victory over Carolina, starting 1-0 on the year. And we will get to that. That's not going to go away. But then James Gladstone and his intangibly rich ecosystem pulls off another trade. I'll tell you this. If James Gladstone's nothing else, that guy is a wheeling and dealing son of a gun. Tim Patrick before the regular season started. Colin Saunders before the regular season started. Your release guys like Chad Muma and Daniel Thomas and, Jordan Jefferson, Javon Foster, DeAndre Prince. And now we find out Tank Bigsby, after his 5 carries for 12 yards yesterday in the win over Carolina, is being traded to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick in the 2026 draft. All right, I'm kind of talking through this with you guys right now. Hit me up on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Would love to get your thoughts, not only on the win yesterday, but on the trading of Tank Bigsby tonight. Here's my initial thought, again, because I found out about this 10 minutes ago. Everybody had written off Travis Etienne here in Jacksonville, right? I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house. I kind of did too. I believed a lot of the scuttlebutt that, is he going to be traded? Would he be the one dealt out of town? He's not a Gladstone Cohen guy. Does he necessarily fit what they do in their offense? He's going to be a free agent coming up this next offseason, probably playing his final year here in Jacksonville, right? We heard all of that. And then, and I did make mention of this numerous times, but so did a lot of other people, Travis Etienne had a great camp. A great camp. It was noticeable how different Travis Etienne was looking. And I still chalk some of that up to him knowing he's scheduled to become a free agent after this year. A contract year can be a powerful thing, no question about that. But you look at Travis Etienne, he's 26 years old. He won't turn 27 until January. He's got plenty of good years left. Has there maybe been a change of heart in the city after 143 yards that Travis Etienne put on the board yesterday? Outside of Derrick Henry, he was probably the best running back in football yesterday. Most productive running back in football. Etienne was dynamic. Etienne was explosive. Etienne was great. You also saw Bayshell Tootin get involved. And on a critical third down that led ultimately to a Jaguar touchdown, on a 3rd and 3 inside the red zone, it was LaQuint Allen Jr. who got a carry up the middle for 4 yards and a first down to move the chains. They dressed 4 running backs yesterday. NFL teams don't do that. I remember, when the inactives came out and you see Mason Smith, which, again, was shocking. But then you see Strigow and B.J. Green. You're thinking, they dressed all 4 tailbacks. That probably should have told us something. And now just barely over 24 hours later, Tank Bigsby is sent on his way. Again, 5 carries for 12 yards yesterday for Bigsby. And now he goes to Philadelphia for a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick in the 2026 draft. What does this ultimately mean for the roster? Well, for the here and now, obviously the roles of Bayshell Tootin and LaQuint Allen Jr. will be massively expanded. Now you're one Travis Etienne injury away from having 2 rookies as your 2 main tailbacks. What does this mean for Jaquindon Jackson, the star of training camp, the rookie from Arkansas who they cut, picked back up on the practice squad? Well, he might get elevated as well to the 53-man roster. 200 yards rushing yesterday for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Etienne accounted for $143 of that. We knew all along. Trust me, we knew. They loved Bayshell Tootin and they loved LaQuint Allen Jr. I remember talking with you guys the night after the draft, or the Monday after the draft it is, where I thought, man, they drafted 2 running backs. And at the time, I thought LaQuint Allen Jr. was the best available player they just couldn't pass on. I now believe that LaQuint Allen Jr. was on their radar for a little bit. And I think they were actually surprised that he was still there in round 7, which is why they were thrilled to be able to get him at that spot. And I know they loved Bayshell Tootin from pretty much the get-go. So they got 2 guys that they really liked in the draft. You got Travis Etienne, and then you got Tank Bigsby. And now we all thought Etienne was going to be the odd man out because of age. Well, keep in mind, Etienne's 2 years older than Bigsby. Bigsby year 3, Etienne year 5. No doubt Etienne has had a more productive career to this point than Bigsby. But yeah, I thought Bigsby and Brenton Strange were going to have massively enhanced roles this year. Brenton Strange certainly does. Brenton Strange was an absolute beast yesterday in the win over Carolina. Tank Bigsby, not so much. Very pedestrian, 5 carries, 12 yards. And now he's going to back up Saquon Barkley in Philly. To wrap all this up, to summarize all this. All right, so the Jacksonville Jaguars tonight have traded Tank Bigsby to Philadelphia. That obviously means enhanced roles for Bayshell Tootin. That means enhanced roles for LaQuint Allen Jr. That means Etienne is obviously going nowhere. And I don't know if anything will come out. It's just odd that Bigsby was getting first-team reps. I remember there was one night I was sitting here and I told you guys that Bigsby never received a handoff that day from a quarterback not named Trevor Lawrence, meaning he was with the starters the entire training camp practice, and that was a month ago, maybe less than that. And we go from him being with the ones an entire training camp practice to now being traded for a 5th and 6th round pick.
Doesn't a lot of it have to do with him not being able to catch the ball out of the backfield, though?
Well, maybe. I mean, it could potentially have to do with a lot of things.
I mean, it's like every time he goes in, it's like, you know that he's probably going to get the ball, and you know that, he's just going to barrel in, and, like you saw yesterday, he had the 3rd and 2, stuck his nose in, got the first down. Like, that's about the only thing he can do.
Yeah, but I would have thought they would have known that March, April, May, June, July, and not put him with the starters for the majority of the first couple of weeks of camp in August. I mean, he was the starting running back in those practices. There's no other way to say it. He wasn't with Nick Mullins. He wasn't with Johnny Wolford. He wasn't with Seth Hennigan. Tank Bigsby was with Trevor Lawrence and the first-team offense 4 weeks ago. And now he gets traded for 2 mid to low round selections.
Which, by the way, according to a lot of Eagles people, it is not related to Will Shipley, who's the backup Eagles running back. It's not related to his injury he had in their game a couple of days ago. The Eagles want to use him for special teams, for a kick return.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to speculate, but that's odd that you would go from starting reps 4 weeks ago to being dealt the day after an opening day victory. But nevertheless, Tank Bigsby gone from Jacksonville to Philadelphia. For the Jaguar point of view, hey, Bashel Tutin, hey, LaQuinn Allen Jr., man, you guys hit the lottery as far as being involved in this offense and with this franchise. A 4th-round rookie and a 7th-round rookie will now be on the game day rosters unless they're injured. They are part of the 48. They are in. Very impressive for 2 rookies to make that big an impact on this coaching staff in such a short amount of time. And obviously, it means Travis Etienne is the guy. Travis Etienne is your bell cow. You have 30 carries in a game. I would imagine Etienne's going to have 18 to 20 of those. Can he stay healthy? There have been issues there, right? But there is no doubt when Etienne is on, he's on. And he was on yesterday to the tune of $143. We got to go quick here because I actually want to recap yesterday's game. This Bigsby stuff hit us out of the blue. Etienne, as far as Jaguar running back history, is in like the top 6 or 7 of all-time rushing yardage. Yet some people made it seem like Etienne was a complete afterthought coming into the year. It was all sorts of love for Bigsby. People were interested in the 2 rookies. And I'll give Travis Etienne a ton of credit, man. You didn't hear him complain. You didn't hear him go to the media. You didn't hear him bellyache. He just put his head down and he went to work. And he had a fantastic camp. He went out yesterday and had a fantastic game. And obviously, in the coach's eyes, he is the man at the running back position for the rest of 2025. He's the present. It appears Bashel Tutin and LaQuinn Allen Jr. are the future. And again, what does this mean for Jaquindon Jackson? Maybe he gets moved up from the practice squad. Never a dull moment in Jacksonville with James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, and Tony Baselli. A big opening day victory yesterday and the trading of Tank Bigsby tonight.
Hacker here, and thank you so much for watching this video on the 1010XL Jaguar YouTube channel. Be sure and like, subscribe, and keep it locked right here on all the 1010XL channels on the 1010XL YouTube network.